Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Bryce Koon, and we appreciate you hanging out with us here on a Tuesday evening as we get ready for college football week number 2. We're going to be looking in and diving into 2 big games this weekend, our games to watch. And then on the back half of the show, I want to talk a little bit, we didn't get to it last night, about the ACC. And we came up with our ACC power rankings. We'll put those up and let you look at those and talk a little bit about those. But what's going to happen in the ACC? What can we project? And, man, can't wait to talk with you. Ralph Leary, Will Mannis joining here in just a second. Here. There you go. Quit yapping. Start the show. Run the music.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The crowded booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.
All right, we welcome you in as Matt with a $2 donation for internet. That was brutal last week. That was terrible timing. Yeah. Shout out Cox Media. It was brutal. First time I've had an issue with it, by the way. That was not fun.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time I've had an issue with it since we moved down here in the 3 years we've been here, or I guess 2.5. It's crazy. Ralph Leary is here. Will Mannis is here. My name is Bryce Koon. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and continue to follow us on all those podcast platforms. Tonight, fellas, week number 2. Week 1 ended last night. Do you want to put a bow or just talk about what in God's name? Yeah, Ralph, don't drop any
don't
slurs.
You dare. Don't you dare. You called me out on that. That's your fault.
It's not. I mean, I hit post. So
that's why I called Gavin and said you're taking over the AI stuff now.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You can't do it anymore.
Right. I love it.
Let's put it this way regarding last night's game.
Oh,
I think it's best if we don't get into that.
Hey, but you know what did hit? TCU minus 3.5. Maybe.
Yeah, that hit after the first quarter and a half. When was it? The Gio Lopez hadn't completed a pass since 8-12, and it was like the second quarter. The game kicked off at 8 o'clock.
It was terrible. I will say this, guys: we've gone clean sweep the first 2 weeks of college football.
Talk about it.
But I'm going to say it.
I'm losing this week.
It is because if you parlayed us, man, if you rode with us, then you're sitting pretty. I'm thinking about parlaying this week, by the way. Will's makes me a little nervous.
I don't like any of the lines. I don't like any line.
I agree with Will. These lines are kind of.
I love the weird one I sent y'all, by the way. I didn't pick it. It was
I know.
Syracuse minus 6.5 against UConn.
I don't know, man.
Your average margin of victory over the past 6 years between those two teams is 19.5. They've all been by more than 7 points. So they're saying they're due, right? You know what it is? I'll be in Destin and I'll be parlaying. It is.
How you spell that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Will, you going to have a spotlight segment tonight? Will got a spotlight segment last night talking about Alabama football. But
as long as you got your running shoes on.
There you go. Ralph has the flow out. Ralph, did you get a haircut? When's the next haircut?
I got a haircut last week.
I know they're on top of you about it.
I know, it's actually kind of short.
It's pretty. Brutal.
I wear a hat because most of the time it's everywhere. Like it comes out over here. I can't deal with it.
That's fine though. That's fun. Duke at home plus 2.5. Tyler says versus Illinois feels like an obvious upset. We're going to talk about that game. Okay, let's dive in and let's just talk about this game. Duke at home as the underdogs, minus 2.5 for our friends over at FanDuel. The over-under set at 49.5. Look, this is a matchup that I think going into the season, these were two teams that you were like, okay, could they be sneaky contenders, especially Illinois within their conference? Illinois kind of the pick for a lot of teams or for a lot of media, kind of so they didn't want to get left out like they did with Indiana last year. Luke Altmaier returns for a 37th year of college football. Brett Bielema stands on business last year in the bowl game, comes out, big win, I guess a win for them in week 1. Yeah. Yeah.
It's up for business.
Yeah. It's Brett Bielema he's all over the place. And I talked to Luke Altmaier over back at the Manning Passing Academy, and he mentioned, we got that interview on the channel. He mentioned the fact they just feel really good about all the weapons that they've added and the run game, the physical nature, we've all kind of talked about Brett Bielema, what he brings to the table, and kind of know like that's a guy who is going to be on, going to place an emphasis on offensive line, going to place an emphasis on being able to run the football. So Illinois enters this game, and they're going to be playing a Duke team that, I mean, it wasn't pretty early, but then you kind of saw why they went and invested in Darian Menza. Menza ends up finishing with a really nice game. This, to me, is going to be interesting. I got a couple points here, and Dr. Bob points out the first one. Duke can't play run defense the way they did against Elon if they want to win. Looking at some of my notes here on what Illinois can bring to the table in terms of the run, I think it's the biggest thing right here is Elon has had an athletic quarterback, Landon Clark. He had 163 yards, 2 touchdowns on 44 carries, which is actually insane. The Blue Devils last year allowed just a tick under 150 yards rushing per game. Illinois has a versatile running attack. They ran for 209, 3 scores, averaged 5.6 yards a carry in their week 1 win. They've got an experienced offensive line, 5 returning starters from 2024. They've got a trio of running backs. You've also got Altmaier, who's athletic enough to be able to carry the football for you. I'll just start with this point. I think Illinois could gash Duke on the ground and maintain control, which is the recipe against getting upset, right? Controlling the tempo, making them play your brand of football. I like Manny Diaz, and I think that defense needs some time to gel, and I don't like this matchup for Illinois for Duke with Illinois' run game kind of start off with.
I'm with you. Illinois didn't play nobody. They played Western Illinois, so how much can you take away from that?
True.
But their run defense, they gave up 1 yard per rush. Western Illinois ran it 26 times for 29 yards. That's impressive, even against Western Illinois, because that's next to impossible. I didn't watch either of these games because, like Charles Barkley, I only watched the good teams. But Duke certainly, with Darian Menza, we know has the chance, is certainly capable of being explosive.
Mm-hmm.
Against Elon, they averaged 9 yards per play, 14 yards per completion, so they definitely hit Elon for some big plays. They probably won't be able to do the same things against Illinois, at least in the explosiveness department. But if you're going to pull off an upset, you got to be explosive. So I think in that edge, give me Duke just for that little edge, not for the game, but in the explosiveness department. Is that are we going to make up a stat like that for the crowd?
Explosiveness rate? I like it. Is that a stat already? It's got how we calculate that?
I think so. The one thing that kind of I guess concerns me for Illinois' defense is that they're starting 3 transfers at defensive line. Yeah. And I don't always see that being a big issue mostly, but against a team that, like, with Manny Diaz coaches, the offensive line is going to be ready to go. Now, don't take that final score that Duke had last week, for anything. They were tied 10-all with Elon at halftime. Yeah. They were struggling. It wasn't Darian Menza, it's just they were not finishing the drives. And, we said that about a lot of teams in the past in a few years, and they figured it out in the second half. But it's Elon. You should have had that figured out before you stepped on the field. I was kind of concerned with that. I think Darian Menza is still very athletic. I like Luke Altmaier. He's got way more snaps than anybody else in college football, probably. I would say he's up there with Pavia and Haynes King, had most snaps in college football because they're all 30 years old.
Yeah.
You can't say that, dude.
Dude, that is offensive.
How dare you?
On business. No, but look, I think this is Bryce. You said Illinois could gash them. I really do see that happening. I just don't see what Duke can go out there offensively enough to play in a shootout with somebody. Yeah. Even last year, they couldn't do that. I felt with a quarterback, and they were kind of they had a good offense. The defense was really the strong suit. Obviously, Manny Diaz is a great defensive mind coach. Yeah. I still think he is this year. I still think he needs some time. He needs to get his guys in there. He's battling with transfers every year. He really hasn't had a chance to get a full recruiting class yet. And I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm going to take Illinois to cover easily. I think they win by about 15 or 16 points in this game. I don't see it being a real blowout, but I do see it being a comfortable win for Illinois.
You like the over or under, Ralph? Are you touching that?
I'm not touching that. Because it could be a 48-30 game, or it could be a 30.
If Illinois goes into Duke and puts up 48 points, then I'm putting them in my top 12. I will say that. Like that'd be impressive to go on the road and put up nearly 50. No, look, to your point, I like Illinois -2.5 in this game. I'm with you. I think it could be a double-digit win in that maybe 10 to 15 point range. One more thing on this, and Will, you hit on this essentially a little bit about Duke, is they do have a veteran receiving core. They've got guys that have played a lot of football. That's going to help Darian Menza out, so it's just not the Darian Menza show. But here's the big thing that I think a key to watch. Duke was either at the top or near the top of the ACC last year in averaging over 2 turnovers forced per game as a defense. They didn't force a turnover against Elon in week 1. Also, Illinois is coming off a season where they really rarely turned the ball over. They were really, really good at taking care of the football. If that's something, like you said, Ralph, that if that trend continues into this football game, that bodes well for Illinois. So the recipe for kind of the upset is, can Duke stop the run and force turnovers? If they can, I think the Blue Devils got a good shot, but I'm taking Illinois. I'm taking a big win for Luke Altmaier and Brett Bielema on the road in ACC country. And I would say, too, because I do think, and I've said this multiple times, I think Duke's going to be a quality win, a pretty good win down the road for a lot of teams. I think this is, an awesome opportunity for Illinois to boost that out of conference or just their resume in general, should they be in and we kind of think they will, should they be in a situation where they're looking for an at-large bid. So I've got Illinois -2.5. Ralph's got a -2.5. Will, where do you sit?
I got Illinois -2.5. I think Illinois, they're a Brett Bielema team for sure. Yeah. I mean, they're going to be physical. I think they'll go in and out physical Duke. And to Ralph's point, I think Manny Diaz might be one recruiting class away really from really being able to have his mark on his program. So give me Illinois.
I like it. We will see what happens there, but you know what you never have to wonder about, Ralph? What do you never have to wonder about? You never have to wonder about the safety whenever you're using our friends over at All Natural BS. The bug spray that really, really works. Make sure you get in on that. Use code TCB10 for 10% or 15% off your order today. Whether it's the patio, it's tailgate season, it's all of these different things that you're wanting to be a part of. Make sure you protect the family, and obviously you want to protect the young kids and protect the atmosphere where you are. So make sure you check out our friends over at All Natural BS, and that's no BS. Okay, so as we kind of go back into, I guess, another preview here, look, there's some interesting games on the docket, right? I think there's games, and we'll get to some of those that we're going to be looking at and we're going to be watching. But this game between Michigan and Oklahoma, and I'll just kind of give you, I guess, the narrative. Remember, guys, when we turned on the music last week, and I spoke directly into the households of people.
Yes.
This game right here, I think, pits two of the country's more intriguing quarterback stories. You have John Mateer, who is trying to prove and, lit up an FCS team, and I believe they played Illinois State last week. Lit up Illinois State. I know it's not a good opponent. He looked really, really good. And then you've got Bryce Underwood.
It was only 35-3.
35-3 is pretty good. He had over 300 yards passing in that game. The whole aspect of this is you got Bryce Underwood on the other side, who we all obviously know the story about Underwood flipping to Michigan, becoming Michigan's starting quarterback, throwing a block, by the way, in that game this past weekend, and springing his running back free or receiver free. So it's two of the more intriguing quarterback storylines in the country meeting on the field down there in Norman. This is a ranked matchup, top 20 matchup heading into this week. I'm excited about this game. I think, like we mentioned with the Duke-Illinois game, this to me is another opportunity for both sides to gain a resume-boosting win when it comes playoff time in 3 or 4 months. Let's start it with the quarterback conversation. I'll say this. This is Bryce Underwood's first road test. At some point this season, I think he's going to have a freshman moment. If you're Michigan, it cannot happen in this game. You need him to be really, really good, calm, cool, collective, which he is. You need him to be at nearly his best to go win this football game. On the other side, John Mateer and his right arm and his ability to run the football you're about to face a big step up in competition against Michigan and what they're going to want to do defensively. So we'll go to you, Ralph, on this one first. Underwood's first road test or Mateer's trying to continue to ascend to the top of the college football and quarterback ladder? What makes you more nervous? What do you feel more comfortable with?
If anything offensively, I'm not worried about Oklahoma's offense. You have a veteran quarterback. You got really good running backs. You got some skilled receivers in there and a very good offensive line. Now, in Bryce Underwood, yes, he's one of the most talented players in college football. Is a true freshman for one at 18 years old, and having one of the best running backs performances last week. Justice Haynes was an absolute freak last week, and we knew what he was coming into this season coming from Alabama. Michigan got a guy they needed to have on the offense, and can rely on that offense, his offensive line, to help them win games with Justice Haynes in the backfield. I'm going to take Oklahoma just off the rip here, but they're not covering. I think Michigan covers this game. I think it's a close game. I think it is an absolute grudge match. I think both quarterbacks struggle at first. Michigan's going to throw some really good defensive, formations. They're going to throw some blitzes in there. They're going to make Mateer struggle at first. It's not the first time seeing Mateer. I don't think. Maybe not. Maybe
did Michigan play Washington State?
I don't think they did.
No.
Okay.
No.
Either way, I don't think they're really worried about Mateer by himself. They got a good defense.
Yeah.
Wayne Martindale is one of the best coordinators in college football. He's done it for a long time, and he's seen some of the best quarterbacks. I mean, I go back to last year; they weren't even close. They shouldn't have won the Ohio State game. They did. They shouldn't have been Alabama. They did. Mobile quarterbacks are not a problem in Michigan.
Yeah, Mateer is going to have his hands full with that defense, and obviously new OC, and we've talked so much about in the offseason that when you put the OC and the quarterback who worked together at a previous location and you put them together here, it helps with the transition. But, Will, this is a whole different test than what you faced in week one. What do you feel more comfortable with? Do you feel comfortable with Bryce Underwood going into what should be a hostile environment and, leading that offense? Or do you feel more comfortable with the veteran, I guess, John Mateer, and what he's trying to do there at home?
I like Michigan. I trust defense. Defense travels. And I think Michigan is going to be on a mission this week to really improve. They did not play well, especially offensively against New Mexico. I think they're going to be on a mission to correct that. Because, Michigan, they always find a way to convince themselves in their own delusion that they are the underdogs and everybody hates them and they've never done anything wrong and they don't understand why everybody hates them. They have an imaginary chip on their shoulder. But I do like them in this game. I think they're very physical. They showed they can run the ball, which will help Bryce Underwood, especially on the road. Yeah. So I'm going to take Michigan to cover, and I'm going to take Michigan to win outright.
Any of you want to take the over-under in this or even touch it or even look at it? What do you think?
Over
45.5 there by our friends over at FanDuel. Yeah, I mean, it leaves me with kind of the deciding vote here. I mentioned and I kind of talked about what do I trust more. And guys, I mean, I'm not going to be the guy who covers LSU and is salty about Bryce Underwood not being down here. The kid's unreal. He's got every single thing in the arsenal and the tool chest that you want when you're looking at a number one player in the country and a potential number one draft pick. A couple things coming out of this as well. I think just the key matchup for me is Oklahoma's offense, like you mentioned, Ralph, against Michigan's defense. Wink Martindale has been doing this for so long. If they can contain, you don't have to control, but if you can contain John Mateer, it's going to allow Bryce Underwood to settle in. I think where this makes me nervous is if Oklahoma really starts to roll and gain some momentum, you're going to turn it over to your freshman quarterback and Bryce Underwood, who is extremely talented, but you're going to turn to him and say, hey, you can't blink. You cannot blink against this Oklahoma defense and Brent Venables. And also, too, and I know, Dr. Bob says this, he goes, I just don't trust Venables. It's about time that Brent Venables shows up with a dominant defensive effort in a high-profile game, too. I mean, obviously, we know what he did with Alabama last year. Can you duplicate that when you've got a lot of pressure on you as a head coach. This is a marquee game early in the year. You start to look at that schedule. They probably really need this one to kick off a playoff resume if they want to have one in 2025. So that being said, I'm going with Oklahoma, but Michigan to cover, like Ralph said. I think this is going to be a very, very good football game. I think there is an aspect of this where Bryce Underwood could go out there and be super efficient and just play the role that he needs to play and let weapons come to him. But I really do like John Mateer. I've been high on him since they went and got him. I love what he infuses into this offense, and I think the best is yet to come for Oklahoma. And so I think the Sooners score an early win in a really, really, really good football game over there in Norman, Oklahoma. And I'm not touching the over-under, but that, once again, to recap, Ralph and I are sitting with Michigan outright, or Oklahoma outright, Michigan to cover, and Will's going with Michigan outright and obviously to cover there too.
Jay not 100% going into this game.
Yeah.
Venables has said he is getting close to 100%. He only had one carry last week, which, I mean, you can tell he's been banged up since fall camp. If he does not play, at all, I don't think that's a huge deal. They have two other running backs who are just as good, in my opinion. They have him listed as a third string running back in the first place, which is crazy to me. I thought Jade not be the number one running back on that team, but apparently not. So
yeah.
Am I crazy being what seems to be like one of the very few people anywhere that has questions about John Mateer? Like, why do we just think he's going to be so good?
I don't think you're crazy for questioning. I mean, obviously it's a step up in competition. You got to know if he's got to do it. I feel like the factor of being at home helps. Like if this game was at Michigan, I'm picking Michigan not blinking for me. I think being at home helps. And I think I'm going with being at home and the experience factor.
Having his offensive coordinator from last year that he's comfortable with, I think also helps out in this instinct. Just because if you're with anyone else, I go back to last year when Alabama had not the coordinator that DeBoer wanted, and now you see what actually happens with the coordinator he wanted. But I feel like if you're in a position where your quarterback needs to make a play and you need a play call, you have the guy there that you can trust that's going to give you the play call that's going to make you succeed. That's how I feel in the situation with Mateer. I haven't seen him play in a real game yet. I mean, he played last year with Washington State, but I didn't watch any of those games. They usually came on too late.
Yeah, I mean, they went 8-4 and got blasted by Syracuse in the bowl game. They lost their last three games. I mean, two of them certainly not on the fault of the offense. They lost to New Mexico 38-35, lost to Oregon State 41-38, they lost to Wyoming 15-14. I'm not sold on Mateer and Arbuckle.
Well, I think one, it helps you that you're around better players and you've got better caliber of athletes than you did there.
Certainly.
That's probably one of the things why it trends people, and like myself or Brian, like, hey, I like this because you would just expect it to happen. The thing too, and this is more within the just the scope of this game, is you go back and watch, and Will, you said this, like you go back and watch Michigan and what they were able to do, and it wasn't the cleanest game. They really leaned on the run game. And like that should be expected, right? You got the freshman quarterback. You're not trying to throw a lot at him. Like you want to be able to ease him into his starting job at a high-profile program. That's not that. It's. I just wonder, does that carry over as effectively as it did against New Mexico? Right? You play New Mexico, not New Mexico State, the Lobos. Yeah, you play against New Mexico, against Oklahoma's defensive front. That would be the biggest question for me. And if you find some resistance, I guess the unknown of Bryce Underwood in that situation outweighs. Yeah, it's just probably a difference of opinion in the sense of like the unknown of Bryce Underwood outweighs the question of John Mateer for me, because if he blinks in Underwood, then it's like, well, you don't really. I think you start to get flashes back to last year of where it's like you're just kind of desperate to create any type of offensive momentum. And that defense, I'm not saying. I mean, probably with you, you took the over. I think it's gonna be. I think it could be the over and like slightly there. Like I think this could be a low scoring ball game still, and maybe not even surpass 50 points.
I mean, 27-21. I mean,
exactly
that hits you the over.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, shoot. I'll say this, Will. I'll ask you this. If Mateer goes out there and is just, I'm not saying he's going to throw for 350 or whatever he did against this other game. If Mateer goes out there and wins and is just super efficient and it's crisp and everything, is that enough to sell you against a defense for like this is a pretty worthy test?
Yeah, Michigan is a top 20 defense. We're going to look at the end of the year. They're going to be a top 20 defense for sure. So yeah, I mean, and it'll certainly make me sick to think about the game in 3 weeks.
That is,
yeah. I mean, if he goes out there and dices it up, it's there. So I mean, for me, I got to see it.
Yeah,
I got to see it.
One last tidbit on this: Michigan was a little bit vulnerable in the passing game against New Mexico. They gave up 2 touchdowns and 217
Are you counting the fake quarterback sneak?
I know. There's a rate that I found, and here is the statistical chance of scoring on each play. New Mexico was like at a 43% on the 51 designed pass plays. So there you go, Will. The 51 designed pass plays from Michigan in that game. New Mexico almost had a 50% chance of scoring. And that's interesting to me. I'm not super into the analytics of that, but I think it's an interesting thing to pose because if you look at that and how it could go with John Mateer and the confidence and obviously the step up, even if Mateer is just average, that's going to be better than what New Mexico threw at you. Now, obviously, you think you make adjustments, just something there there. But you know what, Will? I'll ride with you on that. I will. I'm picking Oklahoma to win this game, Michigan to cover, but I will take the over with you. I think like 28-24 sounds. I mean, that's 52 points, but that's not. It doesn't sound crazy. Ralph's over here talking about Duke and Illinois at 48-30. That'd be Ralph. I'll pay you $10.
You're not gonna pay me. It's okay.
I'll pay you $10.
You got my hat. It's okay.
There you go. All right. Those are the 2 games we're picking. We're going to get right back into some of those best bets for the week, games to watch. And then we'll talk a little bit about the ACC here right after this. But I do want to let you know about our presenting sponsor all season long of Section 103, some of the best gear out there on the market. You talk about what they're launching now. It's the polos. Super comfortable. You can use code TCB10 for 10% off your order today with what they do. I've got the purple one up top in LSU. Ralph just bought the gold one in terms of the LSU one. I've also got the gold Georgia Tech one. Really, really comfortable. They do a fantastic job with the quality. Like just be real with you, I was surprised by that. they not that Section 103 wouldn't do it, but I just think that they did a good job with the quality they have there. So I love it. You should get in on it. Section 103 has great gear though outside of the polos that we'd love for you to check out. Make sure you tell them the Credit Booth sent you. Once again, TCB10 in that promo code will get you 10% off your order there today. Okay, real quick, let's go games to watch. Each of us get one game. Will, we'll start with you absolute psycho. Let's give it to us where you're rolling and what I guess you're going to be just glued to the TV this weekend and watch it.
Yeah, well, number one, I don't even know what time this game is being played. I just saw a tidbit on it that makes it a game to watch because honestly, this weekend is a snooze fest, especially coming off of week 1. The loaded week 1 slate, week 2, kind of a snooze fest, a lot of cupcakes, and this one is a cupcake. Mine is a game between 2 programs in the same state that are playing each other for the first time in 2025. The Arkansas Razorbacks are going to meet the Arkansas State Red Wolves in Little Rock on Saturday, playing each other on a football field for the first time ever. How many states and programs and schools out there are in the same state but haven't played each other? I mean, this is a rarity. So this is, to me, it makes it one to watch.
Troy and Auburn.
Troy and Auburn have never played.
You talking about like the team that's literally named state or like another in-state school? Because
in-state school.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's something for Dr. Bob to get on.
How it would be very cool if Arkansas State walks out of here with a 1-0 record all time against Arkansas.
Yeah, Auburn and Troy never played against each other.
By the way, on Arkansas State, Jalen Rayner is a good athlete, and he can.
He's still there.
Yeah, dude, he's still there.
God,
he threw for. By the way, this past weekend, he threw for 345, 3 touchdowns, was 26 of 32.
Yeah, Arkansas State is not bad. Butch Jones is
played SEMO, by the way, but yeah,
Butch Jones has gotten some talent there.
I'll give you another one, Bryce. Troy versus Alabama. They have not played each other.
I was trying to think, and I know Georgia State and Georgia have never played.
They played Georgia Southern.
Do we count that because Georgia State's program is like 15 years old?
Yeah, when Georgia Tech played Georgia Southern last, that would be something.
That had to be like they were FCS. I feel like.
Oh, it was under the Paul Johnson years for sure. Early Paul Johnson years.
I guess this happened more than you'd think. But when
I
you got two,
this is the first time Auburn's played an in-state team, but that's not Alabama, right?
No.
Have they played UAB before?
Yeah, like a while ago.
I was gonna say that.
I don't think Auburn's played UAB, but Auburn's played Alabama State.
I was talking about the real programs here.
Jesus, just throwing shade at the FCS schools.
Well, I'm talking about FBS, though. You know what I'm talking about.
Demetrius Davis would like a word.
He's too busy.
Not a real program.
Georgia Tech barely.
It is a real program. You drive by the stadium every time you go back to the promised land.
No, I don't.
What's the promised land?
You don't go through Montgomery?
No.
It's the only way I've been.
I would love for Arkansas State to win.
I go to the back roads of Alabama. I go through Hurtsboro.
Oh, okay. Intern in the background says it was 2016. Tech won 35-24.
Georgia Tech has played all the Georgia schools. Yeah, they haven't played Valdosta State.
They're too scared to play Valdosta State.
No. Well, the new FCS program they haven't played in West Georgia, right? I mean, West Georgia in their second year in the FCS played Mercer 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Hadn't played Columbus State's club team.
They're afraid to play Clark Atlanta.
Have they played Barry?
No, but fun story for you. Barry went and played their first year. They played Mercer. Both teams were starting their football program, and so it's kind of like that one year where you just kind of like scrimmage people unofficially because your football season hasn't started yet. And some of my best friends they will tell me they went down there, and like Mercer was like at this point like borderline D2 talent like type of the guys, but obviously Division III you got some like guys that Mert Barry's got an NFL player, but that's like 1 in a million of getting that guy to that level. And so I remember they said that it was the worst beating they'd ever taken in a football game ever. And it was like pouring down rain. There was like 3 people there because it was like one of those unofficial like scrimmages, like students really didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Georgia Southern, by the way, I got to remember this.
Oh, dude, I was in college when they went up to Georgia.
2016, and Georgia Southern almost beat them.
Yeah,
and I think
overtime.
Yeah, I think it was 2016
at all.
It was a horrendous game by Georgia. It was one of the worst games I've seen them play. They just could not stop Georgia Southern.
It was bad.
It's like when they played Florida.
That was like Matt Breida, wasn't it? Matt Breida at Georgia Southern and Kevin Ellison.
I thought was it not Jarrett McKinnon at the time?
He was there too. They all 3 were there. That's a loaded team, though, by the way.
Yeah.
There as well. Just like they haven't played Fort Valley State. Can't speak to them. But what I can tell you is one of my first ever Division II college football experiences was Valdosta State heading up to Albany State, which was a cultural experience, and I enjoyed it.
Have they played St. Olaf up there in Wisconsin?
No, that was who Ralph got heavily recruited by. Well, we've gone off the rails here. Games to watch. No, I like that, Will. Arkansas State, Jalen Rayner is a good quarterback. And good God, can you imagine if Arkansas State wins that game? Like, can we just talk about that?
The Groomers will be in full force.
Who's interim head coach?
You already know.
Travis Williams.
Not Bobby Petrino?
He's coming in there.
I don't think so.
With a neck brace on.
It'll be
Travis Williams will be auditioning for a head coaching job.
It'll be a shootout. A 3-headed monster shootout for that job. Maybe 4 maybe 4 if Arkansas
You
gets
said
crazy.
one last night.
John Gruden,
Red ain't taking it.
John Gruden, Gus Malzahn, Rhett Lashley, and a 4th mystery candidate. Could you guess he currently does not have a job?
Oh, Jesus.
Brian Harsin.
No,
Nope.
he has a job.
He has a job.
What were the 3 guys you listed?
Is it rhymed with like Jumbo?
No. Gruden, Lashley,
Orgeron.
and Malzahn.
Ed Orgeron?
Edo. He wants to get back in it.
I think LSU fans would keel over and die.
If he was in Arkansas.
Also, the problem with that is that you already have, and I'm not trying to question the ball knowledge of Sam Pittman, you already have the motivator type, and it hasn't really worked. Truthfully,
it was at first. It worked for a few years.
Yeah, but
Edo's got more energy than Sam Pittman.
I don't know.
I love Sam Pittman, dude.
I do love Sam Pittman.
If Sam Pittman wants to go, we're not going to speak ill of the currently employed.
We're not.
If Sam Pittman wanted to come into Auburn and be the offensive line coach, would you hire him?
I know someone behind the show who would love that.
I know, yeah. We got somebody behind the show that will make the call and drive the person from Fayetteville to Auburn.
Well, Sam Pittman asked me if I'm recording their snap counts.
Oh, boy. Well, there you go. Okay, games to watch. Arkansas State, that is an interesting one. I'm going to go one here. I'm going to the ACC. And it's North Carolina State and Virginia. Virginia destroyed Coastal Carolina in week 1. I was just really surprised how they did it. Like, I was surprised the fact that they just beat them as bad as they did and put up the amount of points. Because this is an opportunity for me to see, is North Carolina State able to emerge from like the depths of the pit of the midness of the ACC? You got to be able to destroy Virginia. And is Virginia, do they have life? With that coaching staff. So, yeah, CJ Bailey, I think, is going to be pretty good this year, but how good is the rest of North Carolina State's? We'll see. That's the one I'm watching. North Carolina State there versus Virginia. So I don't have as much in-depth details as Will does in terms of that, but that's what I'm going with.
This is the 54th all-time. No, I'm just kidding.
Ralph, what you got?
Well, I'm teasing one for my G5 games of the week. You and I talked about this earlier. I have Texas State in going into UTSA, a really good G5 matchup this week in the Alamo Dome. Yeah, really is. I'd say this: one of these teams, whoever wins this game, will be in the top 10 in my G5 rankings. I think both teams have very good offenses. Owen McCowan still at now he's at UTSA now. I think he was at Rice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Texas State, they're not starting who you think they are. Don't worry. Holden Gator's not going to start for them. But UTSA's always had a good team in the past few years. Great coaching staff there. And I said this, Jeff Traylor's one of the most notable coaches that still has yet to get a P4 coaching job.
Yeah. And
I haven't figured out if he doesn't want one or no one's taking a chance on him. I think that's crazy. I did say there's a coaching job that if it ever comes up and that he will take immediately, and they will call him immediately. I still believe this to this day that with one job he takes first.
Yeah, you said that on the recording we did. That'll come out tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that one. It's like I mentioned. I mean, I kind of said it, and people will see it tomorrow. Like, it's an opportunity for both teams to stake an early claim and really have a resume building win.
The G5 spot is open right now. I think Tulane's that front runner. I said it earlier today. We all have Tulane. I think is our Will's South Florida.
I don't know why the question was asked.
I know.
What do you mean?
My opinion was not wanted. Why even ask the question?
Either way, it's Tulane right now is the front runner for G5 spot. I think the Boise State game last week really knocked them out of that spot for the rest of the season. It's a hard, you cannot lose games like that and expect to make the playoffs. Tulane's got a schedule where they can win some games and make some teams sweat this year. They played Duke, I think, week 3, right? Week 4, maybe?
Week 3. Yeah.
And they welcome Duke down there. I mean, you got a lot of games this year that Tulane can win and force their way into the playoffs. And then so if they lose a game, this win for Texas State or UTSA can pole vault them into that spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm with you. let's move on to best bets. Let's go best bets. A couple games that I thought were super interesting before we pull up the graphic. I know someone mentioned the comments here earlier. I flirted, by the way, with Syracuse minus 6.5 versus UConn. I might still lay some money on that one. The one that was really interesting to me, and this is like, I want to make sure I have this correct. Okay. Oregon is playing Oklahoma State. Now, if you were just a casual football fan that was living in like 2016, 2017, you're like, dang, that could be a pretty sneaky good football game. Oregon is a 28.5 point favorite in this one. I don't know much about it. Is Oklahoma State gotten that bad?
They're terrible, but you're forgetting what really matters.
What's this?
Mike Gundy does not have his nipples pierced. That's what really matters.
Oh, Jesus.
He had to make sure he had to make that abundantly clear at his press conference.
Oh,
go watch it. You don't even have to watch it. You can see the picture on Twitter. I've seen it like 7 times today.
Well, there's that.
I think unnamed intern is about to pull it up so everybody can see it.
Please
don't. He looked like he was about to do some work when
Joe did say they lost the quarterback in week 1. I mean, is this it? Like, are we witnessing the final year of Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State?
No.
Well, there's a coach waiting for them in San Antonio.
Trailer?
Well, no, they're not going to fire him.
I don't think they'll ever fire him. They're waiting for him to leave. Just finally step down.
Encourage him to leave. All right, best bets. Let's pull up the graphic. Will, lead us off. You are going with the Service Academy. Talk to us about it.
I mean, this is basically a system play. Death, taxes, and will supporting the troops. Who'd have thought?
UAB's terrible. UAB
probably should have lost to Alabama State. You know, that program that Ralph said was fake. They were bad.
They're awful.
They're bad. They're bad on defense. They're bad on offense. They gave up 17 yards per completion, 5 yards per rush to Alabama State. They're probably going to give up 8 or 10 yards a run against Navy. And Navy took care of business and blasted VMI. Blake Horvath is back at quarterback. Alex Texa, Eli Heidenreich back for Navy. They weren't going anywhere. Those are Navy's 3 best players. They are going to run all over UAB. I mean, this is a number I would bet probably all the way up to 35.5. I mean,
Jesus.
UAB stinks.
We know we're not going to UAB anytime soon.
Well, there goes that opportunity.
Trent Dilfer probably does watch this because he's worried about what everybody says about him.
Let them win one game this year that matters.
They are terrible.
The Drew Chronic offense is not only the best, but the most beautiful.
Well, he's on your list, your good list, your short list. Right?
He's on my short list.
Yeah.
If things go south, which they still can, one game does not make a season.
Yeah, fair.
Need him.
Navy minus 20.5 versus UAB. The only question to me, I mean, well, Navy's explosive enough under Chronic now too, to where you can be able to do that. Now, I want you to do it. Set an alternate spread minus 35.5, and put your money where your mouth is. That's
they're on 35-0, Will, and that's how you lose that bet. Don't do it.
I don't even know if it's possible.
It's definitely
I don't know if I have the means to do that in the state of Georgia.
That's true.
I'll
place it for you down here. We'll do that.
All right.
Ralph,
I actually am that confident. I'm not confident.
You really are.
I'm not confident that Auburn's going to beat anybody by 1 point, but Navy, yeah.
minus
5 touchdowns.
Minus 35.5 against UAB. That's crazy.
Hey.
I'm not confident that Georgia. Listen, I'm not confident that Georgia can beat anybody by 38. That's why I took Marshall.
God, dude, that was my geez.
Great bet.
Ralph, give me first off what John Summerall said today, and then
you know what? I have it pulled up right here. Actually,
no, go ahead.
So John Summerall today said this: in 2017, when I was at Troy, we beat LSU in Baton Rouge. The next week, South Alabama kicked our ass. They have my full attention. Now, to understand people, that game was a week and a half later because it was played on Wednesday night. Because Sunbelt, why not? I was in attendance in that game. It was embarrassing. I have nightmares of Trautman running for 425 yards against me in high school and then running for 160 against us, or however many it was in that game, and ruin the greatest week in Troy history for me. Yeah, Dr. Bell, I agree. He doesn't know how to fire up the troops. I'm rolling with Summerall. He does not lose the South as a head coach. He didn't in his 2 years at Troy. He's got a way better roster this year than he did at Troy. South lost a ton in the portal. They weren't that impressive last week. Davenport's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's the greatest quarterback they got. I do really like Major Applewhite. I think he's a great coordinator. I don't know if he's a great head coach going forward. I've always said he's an offensive guru. He's one of the best ones coming up. And the fact that he was still at South Alabama last year, or he's still a head coach only and not a coordinator, so at a bigger school, is criminal to me. I think he's a great coordinator, and any school would love to have him. I'm taking Tulane minus 10.5. I think they're confident in this game. They're on the road. It's not really that far of a road game for them. Mobile,
just on I-10.
Look, Mobile is NOLA Jr., basically. Let's just be honest here. They all celebrate Mardi Gras. It's just a little more smellier.
Gotta love it. I kind of like that one too. I don't really know what to say about the stench of a city, but
I don't like Mobile. I've always said I hated Mobile.
We're well aware of your feelings about the city in there in Lower Alabama. Okay, so I'm going with an SEC team. I'm going Ole Miss minus 10.5 Kentucky. This is the revenge factor. I think Kentucky's absolutely terrible as well. I'm not doing Ole Miss minus 35.5, but I do think that Ole Miss is bad, or I think Kentucky is bad. I think Ole Miss is a team that I think they're going to impose their will from start to finish, and I think we're going to start to see Kentucky be one of the worst two teams in the country there as well. So it is. I think Kentucky's got a chance to be the worst Power 5 team in the country. Mobile does stink, he says. Alex asks, can someone see if there's a line on Western Carolina versus Wake? I would get Western Carolina covering whatever the spread is. Did y'all see that Wake's social media posted a graphic that said the lowest points allowed since whatever was against Kennesaw State in a 10-9 win? I mean, read the room.
Read who the quarterback is. He's a baseball player.
Dude, his mom might be watching. You can't say that. All right.
Boo-hoo.
Ralph, talk to our friends over at Cajun Cousins real quick. When we come back, we're going to take a look at our ACC power rankings post week 1. And we're also going to say, is the race wide open? What do we really think? That and more here in just about, I think it's about 90 seconds.
Hey everyone, Bryce Koon here with the Crowded Booth, and I'm excited to partner with Milton and Drew McCluskey as they get on their new venture, the Cajun Cousins Company. It's an all-stop shop for some of the best food and atmosphere entertainment that you're going to be able to have, especially this fall as college football is right around the corner. What is Cajun Cousins Company? Well, Milt decided to start this business back in Columbia, South Carolina. That's where they're based out of. Drew initially joined him after spending some time with the Saints, but they offer catered Cajun delicacies such as crawfish boils and Aunt Dottie's jambalaya. They bring everything and they can set up anywhere. Look, folks, they're passionate about giving people a reason to gather and to get to the culture that they love so much. They're expanding that brand to the low country of South Carolina, the upstate area, and other areas of the Southeast. So look, if you're going to throw that tailgate party or you're going to have a big gathering, reach out to Cajun Cousins Company today over at CajunCousinsCO.com to get that quote. Tell them the Crowded Booth sent you. We can't wait to see what they have in store this fall.
All right, they've got some good stuff in store for this fall and potentially some stuff around the November Thanksgiving holiday that we're going to continue to keep you in tune about. All right, we got about 10 more minutes, and I wanted to talk about...
Wait a minute. Wait. Is this 30 minus 35.5? Is that for Navy UAB?
Yeah, it's plus 400 per FanDuel. You want that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
$10.
$10. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. I like it. I'll go ahead and put it in.
If you parlay, if you ride with Crowded Booth, plus 550.
Okay, per FanDuel?
Should be about the same.
Yeah, come on, dude. Jeez. Should be about the same. I love that.
Come back.
Okay, real quick, let's look at this. I will say some bets that I've already put in for this week. I've got Memphis minus 13.5 at Georgia State, Ole Miss minus 10.5, and I'm looking at a couple more there as well.
I don't bet because I live in Georgia and we can't bet legally. Hey, there you go.
All right, ACC Power Rankings. Let's take a look. Ralph, remove both of those things. This is our ACC Power Rankings. We've got pretty much a staff of 5. We all voted. Gavin put it in the Excel spreadsheet that he runs in terms of spitting back out our individual ballots. And this is what it came up with. This is 1 through 17. Now, listen, Stanford is god-awful. Hawaii got beat like a drum against Arizona this past weekend. Stanford is terrible. Like Stanford, you know what? Stanford might be the worst Power 4 program in the country. Wake Forest scored 10 points against Kennesaw State. North Carolina, outside of that first drive, looked like they didn't know what was going on. I was higher on Virginia. I was higher on Syracuse. I was higher on Florida State. And I was lower on Clemson coming out of the weekend. So I guess what are your guys' thoughts on this in terms of the power rankings? And I guess maybe what's the biggest change from your individual ballots?
This just reeks of recency bias.
Oh, it definitely does. It's going to do it every single week.
Reeks of recency bias. Because we're going to definitely see more regression to the mean. Cal, way too high. They will not stay in the top 10 for sure.
The offense looks good. I can't lie.
Florida State is good, but I mean, can they? My question is can they do it again? Like, I mean, I look at them on paper. I don't know that they're better than Georgia Tech or Louisville or even SMU. I mean, they played with an edge, which is why they beat Alabama. But can they do it every week? Because I think I still worry that on both lines of scrimmage that they are undersized. I don't know that they're going to get up and play that physical again all year against anybody.
Let me ask you this. I was seeing a lot of this, Will, from people. You're obviously the best person to ask. People say once the Gus Malzahn stuff gets figured out, it gets ugly. Is that how true is that? Like, and what's the level of concern for that with Florida State? Like, if you can stop it and figure it out, is he a one-trick pony? And it works, it's fun, but when it's not, it's really, I guess.
Well, it starts with power. It starts with power run. If he doesn't have power run, then none of it works. But at the same time, he's got Nick Marshall light at quarterback. I mean, Tommy Castellanos, his running ability, Malzahn has not had another quarterback like him other than Nick Marshall. So you throw in the element of quarterback run, they can still be effective. He's probably a better passer than Nick Marshall too, which at this point in 2025, you say, well, the Gus stuff, when it gets figured out, I mean, Gus has evolved. Gus has picked up a lot of things from a couple really, really good coordinators that he's had. Rhett Lashley runs pretty much the same stuff. Thinks he's expanded on his own. Mm-hmm. But Gus picked up a lot from Chip Lindsey, some air raid concept stuff, some stuff from Kenny Dillingham. I don't know ball enough to tell you what kind of stuff he picked up from Kenny Dillingham, but yeah. But Dillingham is showing his prowess as a coordinator. And a lot of that stuff is going to be similar to stuff that Norvell already knows, because remember, Malzahn hired Dillingham off of Norvell's staff from Memphis.
That's true.
So this is just a big triangle here, whatever type of triangle you want to call it. And you'll have to see. I mean, if you can stop the run, you'll beat them for sure. Yeah.
Ralph, when you look at this ACC power ranking, is there anything that's drastically different from where you have it?
No, I was reading mine over again. Basically, the top 5 is basically what I have. I think we're underplaying Pitt. We did it last year. I feel like Pitt's a better team than they actually are. I don't think they're low as even putting them close to Virginia or close to UNC. I think that's a little too drastic. I know Will's reasoning with Cal, and I will not knock it. He has the right to do it.
Yeah,
he went through the pain and the suffering of what that 2-year span was. Not even 2 years, really.
You know what? I am a fraud because you know where I had Cal? Ninth.
Dang it, Will! I was on a tenure for this.
I'm a fraud. I had Cal ninth.
Ralph, you had Cal middle of the pack, so maybe like 10, something like that.
I didn't number mine. Sorry, apologies. Guys.
Listen, but let the record show that is due to the even worse programs behind them.
But I don't think what I saw Saturday is that Cal's offense was not bad. It looked good. I'm not going to even try to pronounce their quarterback's name.
He's good.
But he looked really good for a freshman. He made some pretty impressive throws. Oregon should be mad they don't have him, honestly.
Yeah.
But nothing on here is drastic. I loved Miami at 1. I have Clemson at 2, and I'm only saying that because I still think Clemson's very good. And there's no knock to any at 3, 4, or 5. They're great teams. Georgia Tech, great performance Friday night. The 3 turnovers really, you bounce back from that. Impressive. Your defense still held strong. Great win on the road. Come home, you get an easy opponent this weekend, and then next week you play Clemson. So it's just
don't say easy.
Gardner Webb should be easy.
The running Bulldogs.
The Virginia Military Institute should have been easy too. Bowling Green should have been easy too.
I'm not the one saying this. Okay. Yeah. I want y'all to realize that's Will saying this. Don't come after me. I just want to say this. These rankings will not take effect until actual conference play begins, in my opinion.
Well, yeah.
You're seeing a lot of what we're going off of just non-conference opponents. Until we see actual conference play, like week 5, week 6, that's when you kind of start to get your ground set.
What about the teams that have already played their hardest opponent?
Like Clemson?
Miami.
Who else is Miami plays Florida? And then
Notre Dame's better than
Notre Dame's better than Florida. Yeah. I mean, here's my thing with it real quick. I think 4, 5, and 6. I think 3, 4, and 5. I think 3 through 6 are pretty interchangeable. Like, I think those are your tier 2 teams. I think Miami's really good. I think Clemson's really good. I have Florida State ahead of Clemson because I think the vibes are high there in Tallahassee. A team that I think is underrated in this still is Syracuse. I think Tennessee's pretty good, and I think they looked really good. I think Syracuse is better than Cal. Let's see if I'm a fraud. I'm not. Syracuse isn't. I think Syracuse is better than Cal. I think that NC State is better than Cal. I had them above them.
Man, how loaded?
Yeah. Somebody who tanked it. Is this the new guy who tanked this? Who tanked? Who did this?
How is Cal number 10? New guy had him 12. Ralph had him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Bryce, you had him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
We didn't see Gavin's rankings. Did Gavin put his
I tainted it. I tainted it. I had him at 9.
Look, Gavin's
you're the reason.
Gavin's over there evil staring into his computer. This is him doing.
Listen, they played a team that actually knows what a football program is. The rest of these either played real programs and got blasted or played nobody.
Dr. Bob says Cal should be 7.
Pitt escorted Duquesne across the street and just beat him like a redheaded stepchild. I mean,
escorted across the street.
Listen, that is accurate. If you've been to Pittsburgh, it's accurate.
Where is Duquesne? Is that in Pittsburgh?
In downtown Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Across the street from Heinz Field, like 3 or 4 blocks.
Last thing on the ACC power rankings, I'm intrigued to see what Clemson does going forward, and we'll kind of end it here, and I want to get y'all's thoughts on this. After 1 week, we didn't talk about a gross overreaction. We talked about Clemson and LSU last night. But after 1 week, is the race to Charlotte more open than you thought? Because I think all of us kind of sat here and said, hey, Clemson's going to have one spot. It's really a battle for the other one. We went through that schedule, and Gavin, remember you said it to us, the other night, or last night, that there's a 4-game stretch for Clemson where you're going to kind of figure some, or that was maybe Alabama, but Clemson does have a stretch of games where you're going to figure some things out. How open do you think this is? I'll just say this. I think your top 7 teams right now could go to Charlotte. And I think that I need to see from 8 on, I need to see some serious improvement. But 1 through 7, as of week number 2, could all find themselves in the conference title game, in my opinion.
We're completely out on number 15. Question mark.
You're asking?
Yeah, because I ranked them 14.
I mean, they got to start Max Johnson. And maybe.
It's what they should have been doing to begin with.
He made a throw last night. That was impressive. That's all I got to say.
Well, first of all, we should all check ourselves and check our pride at the door because we've all got Georgia Tech 4 spots too low.
You think they should be number 1?
I'm just pandering.
Just pandering. You guys didn't even answer the question.
You answered your own question.
That was my answer to the question. What do you guys think? You agree? 1 through 7 can all make it?
Yeah, I mean, where did I have Tech? 3rd. So right there. I am impressed. I did go back and watch that game every snap. I actually did. I know you don't believe it, but I did.
You hate watched it.
I did not hate watch it. I was intrigued. I did have it on the split screen during the Auburn game. I just wasn't paying attention. To turn the ball over your first 3 drives and to come back and find a way and win, that's impressive. That's signs of a really good team.
Yeah. Brent Key mentioned that the win percentage is 1% when you do that. And so that's it really does show if you don't do that, what could you've done? Yeah. And I think that's intriguing. But if they could just figure out how to take a picture in Atlanta or video and not just distort everything, I mean, Jesus, that is wild. I mean, please just somebody give these B- journalists a camera that is worth something and they can do something with. First team to do that since 2010, Joe Pilot says. He watched the press conference today. Now I think ACC is intriguing. It's going to be fun to watch this year, and I think there's a point of it too. The SEC is going to be fun to watch. That's why you don't make hot takes in week 2. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll hate watching Alabama for 11 weeks.
Not all of us.
I mean, I won't. I know you will.
The Crimson Reign is coming to an end.
Oh, we appreciate you watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. We'll catch you next time. I guess the next time we'll be live is next Monday. Yeah. No more live shows this week. We'll have lots of content. Will's going to talk a little bit of Auburn tomorrow. We'll have Georgia Tech stuff on Thursday. Ralph is going to be talking, obviously, in the morning. He'll have his G5 top 10 rankings. So that and more. Share with your friends. Like, subscribe, continue to follow on all those podcast platforms. Shout out to those 3 sponsors. And we will catch you next time here on another episode of Crowded Booth.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The Crowded Booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.